Hello everyone and welcome to Offbeat Life. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love it if you stay and subscribe and also follow us on Instagram. My name is Tahir.
I'm Nisa.
And today we are in the Offbeat Kitchen. We're going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks on how to get started with a plant-based diet. A lot of people are interested in incorporating more plant-based food, and today we want to just give you some more ideas. As you can see behind us is a lot of food, and we want to be kind of showing you some of the things that we use in our daily lifestyle, and hopefully it'll help you and it'll give you some ideas.
So our first tip is to eat a whole foods diet. So as much as possible, eating food in its natural state. So we're talking about fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and that's in their whole form, not processed. We also recommend, in terms of how much whole foods you should eat versus processed food, ideally you'd be eating 100% whole foods, but that often isn't necessarily achievable. So a goal of eating 80% whole foods, healthy food, and 20%, some more processed, slightly unhealthier foods is definitely the way to go. The more we can get closer to 100%, the better, but in this real world, 80-20 is a good rule of thumb. The second concept is making sure that we are eating the rainbow. So getting a wide variety of different plant-based food into your diet will ensure that you are getting all the nutrients that you need, and making sure you're focusing on getting all the different colors of the rainbow onto your plate, whether that's every day or at least throughout the week. And the third idea is how do you actually build a plate when you are preparing a meal. So we recommend that at least half of your plate is made up of fruits and vegetables, and the quarter of your plate would be coming from complex carbohydrates. So that would be things like grains. It would also be sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, things like that. And then the other quarter of your plate would be coming from a protein source. So for us, that's going to be a plant-based protein source like lentils or beans, tofu, tempeh, things like that. And then also incorporating into each meal a little bit of healthy fats. So for us, again, plant-based options would be nuts and seeds, a little bit of avocado, things like that. Having that fat in each meal will help to make sure that you do feel satiated, so you feel satisfied from the meal that you're having, and also ensuring that you are getting some of those healthy fats because there's nutrition in there too.
And along with that, another great idea is to make sure you incorporate natural, healthy spices and herbs into your foods, which can really elevate the flavoring and the nutritional value. Okay, so now we're going to get into the fun stuff. We want to show you some actual meal ideas, and we're going to start off with my favorite meal, breakfast. So I love to have oatmeal most mornings of the week. It is my go-to breakfast. It is healthy, it's tasty, it's quick, nutritious, and it's cheap. So, and there's a billion ways to honestly make it. You can go online and there's so many different recipes. One of the things I like to do is add dried fruits. So there's figs, dates, apricots, and I also like to mix in a nut butter. So whether it is peanut butter, almond butter, or tahini, I love doing that because it adds some more texture to the oatmeal, as well as it just increases the flavor and also nutritional value, right? They're great for you. So many different ideas, and if you want to mix it up, you can try fresh fruits, just cutting up some quick berries, bananas, tossing them on there. Again, lots of different ways, very versatile. Along with that,
another option for breakfast would be a smoothie. So a smoothie would, for me and for us, would include having some fruits. So definitely frozen berries, whether it's blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, or a combination. Adding in some bananas. Also adding in, again, a healthy protein source. We try to stick to more of the whole foods protein sources, so things like the hemp seeds, chia seeds are great options. You could also add in flax seeds, or you could even, if you wanted, add in a protein powder if you wanted to do something like that. And also adding in a bunch of greens. So spinach we find to be really great and easy to digest, and it's not really very offensive in the smoothie, and it's a great way to get in some of those greens into your meal. So those would be the two options that we really love having for breakfast. There's a lot more options out there. Of course, you can have things like toast and things like that, but these are definitely our two go-to options for breakfast.
Yeah, and just a little extra tip with the smoothies. For the liquid, you can use something as simple as water. You can try coconut water, you can try almond milk, oat milk, try different combinations and see what works for you.
So for lunch, there's a lot of different options. In the summer in particular, we love to start with a salad for lunch. So the salads, we'll use a lot of different combinations of things. Each day might be different. So we'll start off with a spring mix or an arugula. You can also use spinach, you can use romaine, or a combination of those different lettuces and greens. Then we'll add in a plant-based protein, so something like a bean or a lentil. So chickpeas we love having in salads. We can also cook up lentils or get a can of lentils and add those in there as well. We'll add in things like chopped tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever veggies you have on hand, you kind of throw them all in there. And then, using a really healthy dressing. One of the dressings that are our go-to really is just literally a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of balsamic. Mix it up and there's your salad, but you can get a lot more complex with it if you want. Another option for lunch would be a bowl. So again, you can see a lot of great examples online for bowl recipes, but the key to making a bowl would be having, again, some nice greens. So typically we're going to use lettuces and different types of greens as well. So you could use, kale, things like that. So you'll have your greens, then we'll add in some rice to that. Usually we're using brown rice. And then we would add in, again, our protein source. So that would be, again, some type of bean or lentil, or you could even make things like, homemade falafels or prepackaged falafels if you wanted to, something like that. And then you're just adding a dressing on there. So you can, again, do some research online to find some great creamy dressing options that you can make with different nut butters and things like that. And the third option for lunch, especially in the wintertime or in the colder months, would be soup. So the soups really, we do tend to make heartier soups. Again, you can make your soups at home, or you can just get, boxed soup, but try to make sure that you're looking for things that are more minimally processed when you're buying things like that. But again, your soup would have, a combination of different vegetables, whatever you have on hand, adding in lentils or beans to that. And that's gonna give you a really lovely option that keeps you warm in the winter. So for dinner, a lot of options for dinner, of course. And again, your lunch options, you could cycle into your dinner options and vice versa. But usually with our dinner, for us, we do tend to have a little bit of a heavier dinner because it's the time that we have to actually prepare a meal. So usually, again, our starch option for dinner would be whether it's a potato or it's a sweet potato, or it might be a rice option. So sometimes we'll use, sticky sushi rice, which is really great when you're making something like a green Thai curry. We also have brown rice that we use a ton for different things, again, bowls and things like that. Also, we do a lot of pastas, and the trick for us that when we're using pastas is we don't usually use the regular white pasta. We tend to use more of the brown rice pastas. Also, there's chickpea pastas available, pastas made out of lentils, things like that. And now you can get these things in the regular grocery store, which is really great. And the reason we tend to use more of these types of pastas is because they have more nutrition in them. There's more fiber, there's different nutrients in there. We also have more protein in there as well. So using these is a great option as well as the bakes for a meal. So again, if you just want to add like regular tomato sauce on there or make your own sauce, mix in a lot of different vegetables, throwing in broccoli basically into everything we gotta do at dinner time. Yep. But whatever veggies you have on hand, throwing them in, whether it's a rice-based option or a potato-based option or having potatoes aside, there's a lot of really lovely things that you can have for your dinner.
Okay, so next we're going to talk to you about some snacks and some dessert options. So with snacks, we covered them earlier also. Dried fruits are a great option for some wonderful snacks.
Medjool dates are one of our favorites, and these are also really great when you dip them in almond butter. Peanut butter is good too, but almond butter takes it to another level.
Yeah, definitely. And then as I mentioned, figs, apricots, some wonderful snacks to have that fill you up. They're very tasty. Lots of fiber in there, so it's really good for you. You have your other fruits, right? Just oranges, cherries. I mean, it's summertime, it's cherry season, it's mango season. Like, you can't beat these desserts, right? So some savory snacks would include things like hummus. Everyone knows hummus is like the key to life, right? Like, you can literally dip anything in there. So broccoli, cucumbers, carrots, tomatoes, you name it. Hummus makes a great, healthy, tasty snack.
Also, it's really great if you want to incorporate them into your salads as a dressing, or even when you're making pasta dishes and things like that. It is a great option to kind of, thin out a sauce or actually add a little bit more flavor or bulk to a sauce. So there's a lot of different things you can do with hummus. Mm-hmm. It solves a lot of plant-based food issues. Another dessert option that I love is dark chocolate. And again, we eat this in moderation. You know, a small piece or two every day isn't gonna hurt you, but you don't wanna be eating the whole bar. And when you're having the dark chocolate, we recommend at least 70% dark chocolate or higher. So this one's 85% dark chocolate. You could start with 70% and work your way up. If you're not used to dark chocolate, you eventually will get the taste for it, and it's really delicious. Also, if you take even like a date and a little bit of the dark chocolate, have it together and dip it in the almond butter, it's the best thing. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you do, we'd love it if you give us a like. Also, leave a comment in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. And we hope you join us again next time. See ya.